Today we're going to show you how to install our 5th Scale Supercharger on your Losi 5ive. Hey, it's Bob with RB Innovations, and today we're going to take you step by step through our installation. This supercharger install is very similar to our Baja. The only difference is you'll need our intercooler airbox along with the GT5 filter. As well, you'll need our linkage kit. The links to these can be found in the description below. The first step you want to do is remove the engine, take off the carburetor, clutch, and clutch plate. This is our clutch housing that's going to go onto the engine. You want to install that just the way the old one came off. Lock the screws down with the Loctite. Next, you want to take the drive belt and you want to stretch it just slightly to about 6 inches. Work your way all the way around the diameter, then install it onto the new clutch plate. Slip the belt up through the clutch housing and drop the clutch plate down onto the crankshaft. Then you want to lock down the clutch plate using the stock screw and Loctite. Next, you want to reinstall the clutch. Next, you want to take the supercharger, remove all 6 screws, and remove the rear cover. An optional upgrade for the supercharger are Overdrive Pulleys. We sell them in a set of 3. At this step, it's the perfect time to install the Overdrive pulley to the supercharger. First thing you want to do is remove the screw from the supercharger. Next, you want to install a sharp tool in the center shaft. That's going to lock the shaft tight so you can take the screw out of the center drive pulley. You want to remove the pulley and the shim washer that's behind it. One critical thing you never want to do is remove the shaft from the impeller. Those are dynamically balanced and you don't want to remove that. Next thing, you want to reinstall the shim washer and then install the overdrive pulley you wish to use. Then you'll want to apply Loctite and then retighten that screw, again using that shaft locking tool. Lastly, you want to reinstall that screw using Loctite. Now you're ready to finish the install. Next thing you want to do is install the idler pulleys. You want to use Loctite and lock those down. Next thing you want to do is install the gasket that goes between the supercharger and the engine. Drop it onto the engine and lock down the screws, again using Loctite. The next thing you want to do is install the belt to the supercharger, and again you want to use that special tool. You can stretch it around the overdrive pulley first and then come back and snap it onto the idler pulleys. And you can find a link to this tool in the description. The next thing you want to do is spin the system over, make sure everything spins freely. The next thing we've got to do is modify the engine top cover to accept the guard. After that's modified, you want to lock the guard down using the 2 screws and again Loctite. Now we want to reinstall the rear cover of the supercharger. You want to get everything lined up and then lock down the screws in a cross pattern. Now you want to take the screws from the linkage kit and go ahead and drop them through the Losi 5ive airbox. Now you want to install the air filter gasket and then drop your carburetor right down over top of the screws. Next, install the secondary gasket and then install it to the back of the supercharger. Next, we want to disassemble the GT5 air filter. We want to install both screws into the air filter block, followed by the gasket, and then we want to secure it to the airbox. Reinstall the air filter along with the front cover. Next, you want to reinstall the back cover of the intercooler airbox. Finally, we'll go ahead and reinstall the clutch housing for the Losi 5ive. Now it's ready to drop into the vehicle. First thing we want to do is remove the standard linkage arm that goes to the carburetor. Next, we want to go ahead and drop the engine in place and lock it down. Now we'll go ahead and reinstall the exhaust. Now we want to remove the carburetor linkage arm. Now you want to install the new linkage rod with the carburetor throttle arm. Thread the new linkage arm behind the belt assembly, and then you want to replace that linkage arm back to the carburetor. Remove the servo arm from the servo. Now we want to reassemble the locking collars, the spring. Then we want to thread it back onto the servo arm, followed again by the locking collar. You want to re-secure the arm back onto the servo. Now you want to reset your throttle and brake linkage. Make sure that it's functioning correctly. Resecure your fuel lines and then you're ready to go. As you can see, the Supercharger fits directly under the stock body without any modifications required. For more information, visit our website at rbinnovations.com, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and make sure you subscribe and like this video. Thanks for watching.